The bold and the beautiful, Liam's secret, Steffi's alliance, and the unlikely Bridge reunion in the tangled world of the bold and the beautiful. Nothing stays buried forever. Secrets leak, alliances shift, and old flames spark under the weight of hidden truths. The latest arc centers on Liam Spencer, a man whose personal crisis is rippling outwards, shaking up relationships across Los Angeles. While Liam fights a private battle, his vulnerability is lighting a fuse beneath fractured ties, and the fallout may just lead to an unexpected reunion. Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan, or as longtime fans know them, Bridge. Liam Spencer's terminal secret for weeks. Liam Spencer has walked around with a devastating secret, a brain tumor, inoperable and inevitably fatal. He hasn't told many. Just a few confidants have been brought into the circle of truth. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, his longtime love and co-parent, Finn, her husband, and now Hope Logan. With his time slipping away, Liam's desperation to repair what's broken around him has grown intense, even obsessive. The knowledge weighs heavily on Steffi. Initially, she respects Liam's wishes to keep the diagnosis private. But secrets have a half-life, and Steffi cracks. She tells Hope. And just like that, the dynamic between two eternal rivals shifts. They bond. In a rare, raw moment of shared emotion, Hope and Steffi find common ground not over love or betrayal, but over Liam's mortality. It's not friendship yet, but the ice has cracked. But it doesn't stop there. Steffi tells her mother, Taylor Hayes, asking her to keep it quiet. Taylor agrees, despite the moral complexity of hiding something so life-changing. She promises Steffi she'll say nothing, not even to Ridge. Steffi's silent crusade. Steffi's sudden transformation raises eyebrows. She's been combative, protective of her family, and often hostile to Hope. But now she's returning Hope's job, blessing her engagement to Carter Walton, and backing Hope's happiness with a fervor that seems off. Is it guilt? Grief? Or simply part of a bigger plan? Ridge Forrester senses the shift. Steffi's change of heart isn't subtle, and Ridge isn't one to ignore inconsistencies, especially when it comes to his daughter's judgment. Hope, after all, was the woman Steffi vowed to keep away from the family. Now she's cheering her on? Ridge smells something burning, and he's right to. Ridge's growing suspicion in the soap world. Secrets aren't just plot devices, they're emotional landmines. And Ridge is starting to step too close. Why did Steffi tell Taylor and not him? Why is she facilitating Hope's rebound so soon after her split with Thomas? Ridge and Liam rarely share scenes, but even the slight gravitational pull of Liam's tragedy is drawing Ridge into the orbit. The tighter Steffi and Hope become, the more Ridge notices Taylor's unease. She avoids eye contact. She deflects questions. And when Ridge pushes, Taylor tightens. She's a psychiatrist, not a spy, and keeping the secret is already splintering her composure. She doesn't want to lie, but her loyalty to Steffi is absolute. Ridge knows her too well. The wall of silence isn't just about Liam. It's about family, legacy, and fear. Brooke's intuition and the rebirth of Bridge enter Brooke Logan. Always intuitive, always watching, she senses the change too. Ridge shares his doubts. Steffi's behavior doesn't add up. Taylor's tension is out of character. Brooke and Ridge do what they've always done best. They turn toward each other when the rest of the world turns opaque. For Brooke, the shift in Steffi's stance is a red flag. She knows Steffi. The young woman who fought tooth and nail to destroy Hope's relationship with Liam wouldn't just step aside. Not unless something bigger was at play. Brooke doesn't buy the act, and her instincts are rarely wrong. Ridge and Brooke start investigating in their own way, not with subpoenas or spy cams, but with quiet questions, glances, probing comments. And as they work together, the closeness returns. This is what Ridge and Brooke have always had. A bond forged in adversity, a connection that withstands years of betrayal, divorces, and outside forces. A photo that speaks volumes, then comes the photo. It isn't just a moment caught on camera. It's symbolic. Ridge, smiling a rare, unguarded smile as Brooke's hand meets his. No context, no words. Just that one moment. But it says everything. They've been circling each other for months, each with unfinished business. Now, united by concern, secrecy, and shared history, the pull is stronger than ever. They've tried moving on. They've tried ignoring what's always been between them. But this time, the bridge is rebuilding itself, plank by emotional plank. A web of unintended consequences. Liam never intended to set all this in motion. He simply didn't want to die with regrets. But his illness has triggered dominoes far beyond his imagination. By confiding in Steffi, he forced her into an impossible position. By Steffi telling Hope, she thawed years of rivalry. By bringing Taylor into the fold, she sowed seeds of distrust that Ridge can't ignore. Taylor, bound by maternal duty, risks her own relationship with Ridge to protect her daughter's promise. Ridge, fueled by instinct and love, finds himself drawing closer to Brooke again. And Brooke, always at the center of every storm, is watching the puzzle come together, piece by fragile piece. Hope's conflicted heart. Meanwhile, Hope isn't immune to the emotional turbulence. She's caught between Liam's pain and Carter's love. Her heart may still flicker for Liam, especially with the weight of his diagnosis pressing on her. But Carter is present, solid, and hopeful. And for once, Steffi is supporting her. But nothing in the bold and the beautiful is permanent. Hope's engagement may be real, but her feelings for Liam haven't vanished. And if Liam's days are numbered, what does she owe him? Comfort, closure, or a final chance at love? The slow collapse of secrets. Every layer of secrecy adds tension. Every withheld truth draws the characters tighter, raising the stakes. And eventually, it will all come crashing down. Ridge will learn the truth. Taylor will face the consequences of her silence. Brooke will be vindicated. And Steffi will have to answer for her shifting loyalties. Yet through it all, one thing becomes clear. Liam's illness, tragic as it is, has unintentionally become a catalyst. He's forcing people to look inward, to reevaluate who matters and why. He's giving Hope and Steffi a reason to trust each other again. He's making Ridge and Brooke see what they still mean to each other. And in doing so, he's setting the stage for a bridge reunion that fans have long awaited. Where it's all heading, the writers are carefully stacking the emotional dominoes. The diagnosis, the secrecy, the changed relationships, the photo. It all points in one direction, a climactic revelation that will upend everything. Ridge will confront Taylor. Brooke will push for answers. Hope will be torn between duty and desire. And Liam, standing at the eye of the storm, may finally get what he wants most. Not just reconciliation with those he loves, but peace. As the drama builds, one truth is clear. The bold and the beautiful isn't just about love or betrayal. It's about timing. And right now, everything is converging around one ticking clock, Liam's. And as that clock winds down, the possibilities explode. Will Bridge finally rebuild? Will Hope say yes to Carter while yearning for Liam? Will Steffi's alliance with Hope survive the fallout? And when the truth about Liam's illness finally breaks, who will be left standing and who will be shattered? Stay tuned. The bridge isn't just being rebuilt. It's about to be tested like never before. In the long-running soap The Bold and the Beautiful, nothing is ever simple. Love triangles twist into knots, secrets breed betrayal, and even a character's illness becomes a seismic event. But in recent weeks, the show's decision to center Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, in a brain tumor storyline has generated more ridicule than sympathy. What should have been a powerful, emotionally resonant arc about life, legacy, and looming mortality has turned into a meme-worthy mess. Instead of gripping drama, fans are getting bizarre wardrobe choices, baffling production decisions, and a plastered-on bandage that's become the butt of every joke online. Let's get one thing straight. Liam Spencer is dying. Or at least, that's what the show wants us to believe. Diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor, Liam has been living on borrowed time, desperately trying to make peace with his past and fix fractured relationships before it's too late. On paper, it's exactly the kind of storyline that soap operas were built to carry, a character battling a ticking clock, facing the deepest truths of his life while everyone around him either leans in or pulls away. But the execution? It's falling apart faster than Liam's white blood cells. It started subtly. Liam began wearing a knit beanie in nearly every scene, even when indoors. The assumption was clear. The cap was meant to signal his declining health. Maybe he was cold all the time. Maybe he was embarrassed by hair loss. Or maybe, more practically, it was a quick visual shorthand to let the audience know, hey, something's wrong with this guy. But fans weren't buying it. The beanie felt more like costume than character, an awkward prop rather than an authentic signal of illness. And then came the bandage. In a move that baffles logic, production decided to slap a small bandage on the back of Liam's head, directly on top of his full head of hair. It wasn't hidden under the beanie. It wasn't explained. It just appeared, as if the showrunners assumed that this tiny strip of adhesive would lend credibility to the cancer plotline. Instead, it sparked an avalanche of mockery from fans, who quickly turned it into a running joke. You don't put a bandage on top of hair, one fan scoffed on social media. This is kindergarten-level first aid fail. Another viewer compared the moment to a parent placing a cartoon-themed bandage on a child's imaginary wound just to make them feel better. It's laughable, they added. Like a kid playing doctor. The online ridicule didn't stop there. I thought the beanie was bad, wrote one commenter. But now I miss it. At least it wasn't a band-aid on top of hair. This is just embarrassing. Another post read, I only watched 5 minutes and burst out laughing. That bandage deserves an Emmy for most misplaced prop. Some even joked that Liam must be visiting the same doctor who once prescribed an absurdly placed ear pad for Trump during a real-world health gaffe. That's the level of disbelief we're talking about. It's unfortunate, because the core of Liam's story should be compelling. He's facing a terminal diagnosis. He's watching time run out. That kind of pressure should push every character into conflict and introspection. But instead, we get visual gags, poor costume choices, and distracting details that ruin the emotional momentum. The audience isn't mourning Liam. They're mocking him. And that's not because they don't care, it's because the show is making it nearly impossible to take the drama seriously. The problem isn't just the bandage. It's what the bandage represents. It's a symbol of sloppy storytelling, a stand-in for the larger issues plaguing this arc. The writers want us to feel something deep and devastating. But instead of building tension and stakes, they're relying on surface-level gimmicks. The beanie, the bandage, these aren't props, they're placeholders. They suggest illness without showing the struggle. They imply vulnerability without digging into the character's emotional core. And for a show that's built on emotional intensity, that's a cardinal sin. What's worse is that this could have worked. Liam Spencer has been a central figure for over a decade. He's flawed, sure, a waffler, a flip-flopper, a man perpetually torn between hope and Steffi. But he's also beloved, and his slow decline should be shaking the foundation of every relationship he's ever had. Hope should be unraveling. Steffi should be fractured. Ridge, Brooke, even Bill Spencer should be feeling the ripple effects. Instead, the entire illness arc is playing out in a bubble, sealed off from the rest of the canvas, and reduced to visual shortcuts that feel more like satire than drama. This is a show that knows how to do pathos. Fans still talk about the heart-wrenching death of Phoebe, the shock of Caroline's passing, and the agony of Stephanie Forrester's cancer journey. Those stories were grounded. They were earned. And they didn't rely on slapstick props to get the point across. Liam's arc, by contrast, feels like a parody of those better days, a storyline that's more about appearances than authenticity. There's still time to course-correct. The writers could refocus on the real consequences of Liam's condition. They could deepen the emotional stakes, show the physical toll, and let the supporting characters grapple with the inevitability of loss. But to do that, they need to stop hiding behind wool hats and misapplied bandages. They need to let the story breathe. Let the performances carry the weight. Let the characters feel real pain, and let the audience grieve with them, not laugh at them. Because right now, the bold and the beautiful is squandering a rare opportunity. Liam Spencer, whether you love him or hate him, deserves better than this. And so do the fans. Soap operas live or die on their ability to turn emotion into spectacle, not spectacle into a joke. The beanie was a bad call. The bandage was worse. What comes next? A full cast of doctors dressed like clowns? Unless the show recalibrates fast, it risks turning one of its most potentially poignant storylines into a punchline. And once you lose the audience's trust, it's a steep climb back, no matter how bold or beautiful you once were.